All right, just being patient here, but there's another potential no supply on the GU 5-minute. Again, we have our stopping volume today confirmed. It's the highest volume of the week. We finally got really active there. And we confirmed the stopping volume. We found our little automatic rally. It was a no supply earlier for an aggressive entry down there, but I'd like to see it get through this automatic rally, and if it goes through up a no supply, that would be nice. But it's kind of just sitting here, so we'll see how it goes. And again, the UJ. Eurodollar's bad today. A lot of these are bad today. UJ sign of weakness potentially here, up at resistance. Nice volume of the day, up thrust type of activity. We're getting a bearish reaction. So we see the weakness coming in there. R2, which is nice, and also, what is that, a weekly pivot? Yep. And I'm seeing it double top, so it would be nice to see another sign of weakness selling into the up move distribution type of activity. Didn't really see high volume at the top in smaller time frame, 15. Another sign of weakness, and I'd be a little more confident to short it. And that's where we are. Okay. Well, there's another potential no supply on AU, so hopefully it can move up off of that. Just to go over the setup again, trying to record pieces of this webinar. The 1 hour chart. This is the 618 level here. I didn't really see the volume that I wanted to see for the bounce, but on the initial bottom. But we got a sign of strength. Let me go to the 5 minutes. As this was kind of sitting there undecided on low volume, and we had news here. We had a sign of strength show up here. Technically, that's at a fib level also. So a sign of strength there, followed by a no supply right there. No supply confirmation is here for entry. So at least we have the 618 now getting rejected, the sign of strength, no supply confirmation, and then same area here in Mad Scalper template. Is your no supply, and the Mad Scalper long entry is there, showing that the trend changed, pull back, sign of strength, no supply, then entry. So that's a good looking setup there as far as those indicators. Maybe this being oversold would have been nice too, but that's not a requirement. Okay. And now it's going to sleep. So we'll see how this plays out. We're going to put a small position on this so I could still look out for the other trades I'm looking for, which is a GU long. Another potential no supply here. It looks like it's buyers for the taking. They just haven't marked it. I'm looking for the push through the AR here. Stopping volume on the 1 hour. And the UJ, I was looking for this to double top. Didn't quite do that yet. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But we have a bit of weakness at a resistance from the 1 hour point of view. It's R2, it's weekly pivot, it's resistance. Here's some news volume, but putting that aside, here's the top. Would have been nice to see some more volume. That's why I'm looking for another good sign of weakness. Selling into an up move here would bring the setup together, and I could look for a no demand, short it. So I'm looking for an additional sign of weakness. We did just confirm that no supply with a close above technically. So that is a long entry, but again, the automatic rally, I would like that to break. Show that the buyers are really trying to go into an uptrend here. It looks like they were possibly waiting for that support for a double bottom and to buy more there, but there's just not enough sellers to bring it down. Really dropping volume here. Keep getting the no supply popping up. So we made it back into our pin area, the automatic rally. And we'll see if buyers are ready to push it through here. Again, there's our strength in the background, our first level of resistance. Saw some no supply in the 5-minute, but I didn't get in. Didn't want to get in too aggressively during this down move. There's a 30-minute stopping volume. 1 hour. Now, being long the AU already, it's kind of may correlate, but again, that was a small position, so I'm kind of just spreading it around here if I get long on GU also. Now, I figured this was buyers for the taking. They just weren't doing it, but hopefully they're doing it now. And the volume dropping off, hopefully we can still do a trending move. We have enough activity. But we don't see the sellers coming in. We don't see the rejecting of the price here. They just got to make their move now and push it above. Like I said, if I could manipulate price momentarily, I would pop this up through here and try to get this reversal going. Smart money waiting for lower prices. They're not going to get it. Let's mark it up now. Hey, they're going for it, sort of. Seeing a bit of volume on this candle now. If we end up seeing high volume and we reject and come back down, then we know we've spotted some selling coming in again, a resistance. Let's see effort versus result. The effort's picked up. We're getting a little jumpy. And it's pushing up. Let's go. Let's close above. Volume's a bit excessive, so I wouldn't go immediately on the close. It's barely closing above anyway. I would want a little more than that. Let's see. Just barely. Maybe not even. All right. Not quite good enough. Let's get through that. Or not, then it'll be a sign of weakness. Let's see the result. Owen says, I wish I had your patience, Pete. Yeah. Eventually. The thing that made me most patient in the end was knowing that, patience pays. I want quality, not quantity. Trading less than I used to and waiting for the good setups. Yep. But that's the last thing to come. If you're still learning, it's hard to be patient and it's hard to follow rules and be really disciplined if you're not exactly sure what you're doing yet. But once you really have it down as a routine, then you have your guidelines, yeah. So it's pretty much the last thing once you feel very confident. Then you can work on the patience. All right, there's an aggressive push. All right, whoa, slow down, wait for me. Jeez. All right, I'm looking to enter this GU right now. Okay, I'm in the trade. So I'm also long GU now. So GU and AU, both relatively small positions, so combined it's like a regular position. It's just kind of spread out at this point. So I did get in the GU at 22.7. Put my stop just below whole number, a little support there right now. Just to throw it in there, I'm going to put it at 92. Again, I could adjust it, but that might be it. So at the moment, stop at 92. If I can tighten up a little bit, maybe. Okay. So seeing this increase in volume here, really the result of that was going to really determine a lot. It was at a key point, obviously, and the market became more active was the result of that, up and up so far. So we're good. We have strength in the background. We have plenty of no supply signals in here, just being patient, waiting for that to break. And hopefully this is correlating with the AU and get on our way to the upside. Talked a little bit about targets on the AU being large, taking a little off, and locking break even, letting it run for multi-hundred pips is what the daily chart shows very clearly, expecting that. So GU, let's look at that. Just look at some reasonable points at which we might want to take profit. The probability may decrease. Obviously, we got a fib in there. There's a good chance of getting to that 50 fib before anything else. This will be nice that this closes up above the previous support too. We can get back into the old range, another good sign that we continue up. Get to the middle of the range at least. Let's see. That's about a 1-to-1 risk reward getting into this fib zone. And I would see how it reacts there, see if there's a sign of weakness or not, if sellers are coming in or not, would determine if I would look to hold it further to resistance. That's about it. If we go to the 4-hour, you can see it's becoming a spring pattern, a Wyckoff spring, right, during an uptrend. And, from that view, coming back up to this resistance, very reasonable, and perhaps continuing the trend a little further. Break test continuation pattern on the daily. Could bring it up higher. So yeah, pound, dollar, AU dollar, potential to the upside. Hopefully we're catching this here. Graham, what's up? Pete, so in terms of not really trading after 16 GMT, is every day a judgment call on how active you determine the market to be, or if setups are still? As far as the 16 GMT rule, it is a general rule, especially if you're expecting a trending move that seems to be building up and getting ready for a trending move, and it gets late, it may not happen. So I like taking a reversal or something after 16 GMT, yeah. But if volume continues to stay high, it could go a little longer. It seems to like steadily decline some days. But let me read the rest of your question at that time of day. Our setups are still forming. You're happy to run trades. To run trades after 16 GMT, yeah. But I do keep an eye on it, and I'll manage the trade as need be. Or does those not matter so much? Yeah. Especially on these trades which have, hopefully an initial regular size target, 1-to-1-ish, and then getting rid of the risk. Because, Asia session could pull back, and who knows what can happen going into tomorrow. I'm not on the computer. London open, so to lock break even, go for those bigger targets after initial profit, hopefully soon, and locking break even. Yeah. Help us out on potential first targets, see where sellers may or may not come in, see the reaction to this level. This happens to be S2. See that AU can get through its resistance here. There we go. Come on. Nice, 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 nice. All hands on deck on AU. Hopefully this is not going to be a sign of weakness and a bunch of mess, and we're just seeing some real aggressive buying like we expected. Okay, so the AU is like 2 pips away from that confluence point. It may be the point where I want to put a little in the bank, get rid of my risk. I wish I was up a little more than 15 pips, but nothing in the bank yet today, and this has plenty of room to the upside if I can just get a little something here, get rid of my risk. Also considering where my break-even would be, it's a little close, because we could still come back to test that area. Well, I haven't done anything yet. If this turns out to be a sign of weakness at our area of symmetry, basically resistance, I'm going to have to lock break even on the trade. As much as I don't want to, I feel like there's plenty of room to the upside, but an attempt to make new high prices, if it's going to be a widespread high volume up with a bearish reaction, and come back down to entry points, it's kind of failing. This doesn't seem to be a great aggressive buying if that's what's going to happen. It's getting squashed a little bit. Come on, buyers, you got it. Push. All right, keep a close eye on this. GU pushing nicely. Let this not be a sign of weakness. Oh, and you got to run. Okay, cool. I'll see you tomorrow. I got your subscription worked out, too. I figured it all out. Sorry I didn't give you the ID today. Okay. All right. I think we're going to see a few more pips on this, huh? Yeah, look at AU running. Cool later. All right, I'm ready to put a little in the bank on the AU. I'm up about 19 pips, 18. and then lock break even here and let it run, run, run. So I'm doing that. Okay, done. Took off half that position on the AU long. Locking break even entry was 72.8. Gonna make it 73.2 because it's, make sure I don't get slippage. Stay positive. Okay. So little in the bank, lock break even on AU. Lots of room to the upside, says the charts. Let it run, let it run, let it run. Okay, let's deal with GU. Done with that for a while. Well, at the moment, I'm kind of on the fence with this GU, just to let you know. I could see closing it at my entry price if it's going to pull back a little lower here. It's a little resistance area. I mean, it really is basically a good setup, but I don't think I want to sit through drawdown and possibly a loss at this point. I have the AU, a little something in the bank. I have plenty of room to run. Hopefully that trade's going to keep running and pay off. I don't think I want to let this run back on me, though. It's kind of now or never. That is a good sign that potential no supply if we get a close above in the next minute and a half. That would be a confirmation. Lack of sellers, hopefully continue up. But yeah, if it pulls back to my entry price, I may just trim down the position, lower my risk at this point. So with no more risk on the AU and possibly trimming this down, I'd have very, very little risk. And still in a position to make some decent money, so we'll see. If GU can just shoot up here, it'll make my day. That's all I ask. One more pop. Okay, so at this point, I just took off half of my position on the pound long at break even to lower my risk. We're at a little resistance level. A bit of weakness coming in. I'm not really liking that. It's just falling asleep. The volume is getting low. We're coming up on 16 GMT. Multiple attempts to move up here, and it's not happening. So at least I wanted to trim down my position, my risk exposure here. So I have really a small, it was already a half position because we had half on AU. And that's hopefully going to run a little further. But so now it's a very small position. So my risk is small, but the potential reward here today is still very good. Very small risk now. I think if it pulls back a little further, I can get out at, minus 2-3 pips. Considering what I banked on AU, I'm still in profit for the day, and then probably get some more on that anyway. So a little trade management. Now it's going to shoot up, and I'll have a tiny position. So it, Just to mention again while we wait, the AU long setup was interesting. There was an example where we started off today opening the charts and saying, okay, volume is not really giving us clear direction. It's low so far this week. We haven't seen the real activity come back. And that finding trades off of Confluence is really the alternative in those situations. If volume is neutral, kind of flat, and not really giving a good background or clear direction. And there was, there was a sign of strength that appeared before I got into the AU long. That may have helped our decision. So VSA did confirm that, but it didn't confirm in the usual way on this bottom. Really not good stopping volume. Just kind of neutral stuff going on for the day up to that point. Normally I'd like to see a higher volume there to go counter trend, right? But 618. General long bias to buy the dips based on previous activity that we've been talking about last week. We're looking to buy the dips on this. So background going a little further back, looking for the upside moves. So we do have that, and then the 618 here. And then we had the little sign of strength that did appear, although the overall VSA setup was kind of neutral. And then Mad Scalper. Mad Scalper gave the entry there, and there was the sign of strength. Oh, it was followed by no supply as well, right? So VSA did come in and confirm. It just wasn't the total picture that we wanted. And but the rest of the information all told us long, and then there's the long entry off of Mad Scalper. So we made something out of it. Found the probability, even though the VSA wasn't definitively giving us a setup, we were able to spot probability, with the other tools, right? Yeah, I think I'm going to get out of this GU. I mean, a couple of ticks lower than what's been made. I might even just put my stop in, so I don't, let the broker go after me. Fuck it. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to actually literally place my stop just below the low that's been made. I'll make sure I'm looking at the bid price here so it doesn't, I'm accounting for spread. It would be the actual sell price. It looks like 20 or 21, 20.9 is the low that's been made. So I'm going to throw that guy in there right at 19 and a half. That's how close I'm putting it. That's going to give me like 3 pip loss, which of course does not put me in negative for the day. So 156.19.5. I will be exiting the GU for minus a few pips. Either that or we can run up. So I did that. So what's my risk now? Next to nothing. And we're still in a good position. Long day. Maybe I'll just close the webinar at this point because there's no more real risk running. We could just talk about targets in the chat. If I end up managing these trades, I'll pop into the chat and let you know. More likely than not, the GU is going to hit the stop, but, one more pop-up on these pairs. Possibility. All right, so I will call it a day. Long session today, but profitable. Patience. Cool, Graham. All right. So I'll see you guys in the chat dealing with the profit taking on these trades. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one.